First and foremost, before we get started, I like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rekah Kwadash, and the ourselves great millstone, Wallet is truth, and also to the Ophilac that scattered abroad. I like to say, Shalom, and come back here today with another great powerful lesson through the spirit and the power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua. And the title of today's lesson is U.S. military bases in Europe on high alert. So I like to say shalom to all our listeners and learners. Hope this will help you today and guide you back in the path of righteousness and back to your true power, which in fact is Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah. So before we start today's lesson, I have a quick news article here by CBS News. And it reads, it said, U.S. military heightens security alert level at European bases in response to threats. Let's get a little bit more. It says here, the U.S. military has raised the security protection measures that it is taking at the bases throughout Europe, asking service members to be more vigilant and keep a lower profile due to combinations of threats it is seeing across the region. So the U.S. European Command says in a statement Sunday that a variety of factors play into the safety of U.S. military community abroad, increasing the threat level to Charlie, the second highest of 5 levels for service members, is the result of a combination of events occurring across Europe, including elections in France and the UK, the upcoming Olympics, and other major sporting events, and the ongoing wars in Ukraine and Gaza, according to 2 U.S. officials who spoke on the condition of the anonymity to the Associated Press to provide additional details, but they said they were unaware of any Pacific threats. So we're seeing right here, we constantly hearing what rumors of wars left and right all over the place. And also we seeing that tension is constantly rising in the Middle East between Israel and also Gaza, these Houthi rebels, and also between Iran, and also it's a imminent threat. Russia constantly warning America about constantly getting involved with Ukraine. So we already know that a lot of things are constantly picking up. We're seeing right here now that, they're saying that these bases on high alert of attack. So we're seeing right now that America is getting attacked on all fronts. We're seeing that these nations are constantly are coming into alliance, with Russia, China, the Arab nation, also the African nation, and also we knowing that Russia is right here in our own backyard, back here with in Cuba, with their warships and also their submarine, and also with Venezuela, and also with Mexico, so it's a lot of things are happening that we can't hardly keep up with. We seeing these things are just constantly increasing. And also we already knowing that about a month or so back about this military draft. So we already knowing that things are constantly getting to the levels whereby it's getting ready to escalate, all hell is getting ready to break loose. So we constantly seeing these things, it said Charlie, the second highest level, of imminent threat of terrorism, also on American soil, so we already knowing about this presidential debate between Biden and Trump, so we already knowing that things are heightened left and right. So, it's rumors of wars are all over the place. Thing could go nuclear at any given time. When they say peace and safety, then total destruction will come upon you. A lot of people right now still are not considering. But these are the signs of the time. In the middle of the Lord, we're constantly warning you left and right of all these impending dangers. Because, I'm telling you, big attacks on U.S. bases at all American military facilities in Europe. Hey, man, this is major. So we're seeing right here now that America pretty much is under attack. And one thing about we knowing that any given day that these things could go down. A lot of people right now still not preparing, still not considering, still are going on with their daily lives. And one thing about it, this place is getting ready to be a war zone. This place is getting ready to be a third world country. In the middle of we're constantly sighing and crying left and right. One thing about it is that war is imminent. We at the beginning of sorrow. We're seeing the transition of power. And also we're seeing that the Lord is what? Is gathering the nation. So the title of today's lesson, once again, is U.S. military bases in Europe on high alert. So let's get a few precepts. And after precept, we'll start the lesson, and we'll start today's video after the precept. Salaki. Let's go here first. Ezekiel chapter 3 and verse 17. It said, "Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Said, therefore, hear the words of my mouth, at my mouth, and give them warning from me." So I said, was exactly what we're doing, constantly warning you all these threats, all these rumors, that's going on all across the world. And one thing about it is that we're seeing that things are constantly picking up. Tensions is rising. We're seeing that more threats, terror attacks, seeing about these military bases in Europe and also right here in our own backyard. So we knowing that any given day, all hell can break loose. We're seeing it that we're here. So let's read this once again. It says, "Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. It said, therefore, hear the words of my mouth and give them warning from me." So let's read it in the NLT. It says, "Son of man, I have appointed you as a watchman for Israel." Said, whenever you receive a message from me, warn people immediately. And so that's what we're doing, whether you will hear or whether you will forbear, because we're seeing that we get closer and closer, to a time of trouble that we have never seen before. War is coming. The war drums are beating. And one thing about it, we knowing that America is going to be attacked. America will be invaded by these Russia and China troops in collaboration with the EU and NATO. All these things are coming to pass right before our eyes. A lot of people are still in the house of mirth. A lot of people are getting ready for what? The 4th of July, barbecuing, relaxing in their leaves. And all these things are taking place right before your eyes. Hey, it's time to wake up. May the Lord constantly warn you, whether you will hear or whether you will forbear. So now let's go here to Proverbs chapter 22. Proverbs chapter 22 and verse 3. Proverbs chapter 22 and verse 3 say, "A prudent man foresees the evil and hides himself, but the simple pass on and are punished." Let's read it in NLT. Say, "A prudent person foresees danger and takes precautions. The simpleton goes blindly on and suffers the consequences." So, that's what's happening right now with these 2/3, this rebellious house. They're going to suffer the consequences because what? They're not considering, they're not watching. They're not even paying no type of attention to what's going on all around them. But one thing about it, we're seeing right now that these evils are constantly intensified. We're seeing that war is coming to what? America's shores, Babylon the Great. We already knowing that, the Lord is constantly putting the hooks in Russia's jaw. We're seeing that Russia is becoming a guard to these other nations. The Lord is gathering the nation. We're seeing that Ezekiel chapter 30 war is constantly it's lining up just like clockwork. Joel chapter 2, Joel chapter 3, Jeremiah chapter 50, Jeremiah 51, the least of the flock shall draw them out. So we're seeing that tensions is constantly picking up. So you're already knowing that, we're seeing that a build up, tensions building up over there between and Lebanon, if I'm not mistaken. And also Iran is already warning Israel if they attack Lebanon, they will get involved. So it's already a proxy war right now between the Houthi rebels and Israel right now. So we're seeing that it's going to be on a major scale, a larger scale. We're seeing it happening right before our eye on all fronts. So this war is getting what? Bigger and bigger. So let's read this once again. Proverbs chapter 22 and verse 3 said, "A prudent man foresees the evil and hides himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. Because one thing about it, they're not considering, right now, just once I said, once again, the people getting ready for the holiday, family reunions, just relaxing, eating and drinking and being merry. So, and one thing about it, it's going to come upon you unawares, you know what I'm saying? And you will suffer the consequences because we coming upon these times. So now let's start today's video. And after the video, we'll start the lesson. And I hope that you will get edified.
Developing news coming out that U.S. military bases in Germany, Italy, Romania, and Bulgaria all throughout Europe have raised the threat level to Charlie due to possible threats, and you can see that as imminent threat of terrorism. They know something is coming, but they're not telling us exactly what. Just like the warnings we've been hearing from FBI Director Wray about potential attacks here on U.S. soil. And this coming out across the headlines today, U.S. military bases in Europe on high alert over possible terrorist threats, according to reports. Here's one from ABC News. Several U.S. military bases in Europe put on heightened states of alert. One from Newsweek, U.S. military bases threat level elevated due to potential terrorist threats. And this comes as the United States is sending Abrams battle tanks to the NATO frontline nations, as we're hearing that we could be preparing for all-out war with Russia. And we're hearing that this could spark World War III. And this comes as just yesterday I shared with you that Russian President Vladimir Putin has now ordered banned missiles to be built after a major treaty with the United States is scrapped. He is saying that those old banned missiles, that they should be built, and in addition to that, they should also be placed in Russian ally nations within striking distance of the United States and NATO nations. Now, link in the description below to this article from Newsweek that came out today that says several United States military bases across Europe were put on heightened states of alert over the weekend due to concerns that potential terrorist attacks could target personnel or facilities, according to CNN, who spoke to U.S. officials on Sunday today. U.S. Army garrison in Stuttgart, Germany, where U.S. European Command, or EUCOM, is headquartered, issued a community-wide elevated alert level to Force Protection Conditions, or FPCON, Charlie on Sunday until further notice. The alert status aims to ensure readiness and rapid response capabilities for any potential threats in the region. According to CNN, who spoke to one of the U.S. officials who is stationed at the base in Europe, said that they haven't seen this level of threat in at least 10 years, and said it usually means that the military has received an active, reliable threat. The U.S. Army employs a system called FPCON to assess and communicate the levels of threat to military personnel and resources. These conditions range from normal peacetime operations to the highest state of alert in response to specific threats. According to the U.S. Army, the 5 FPCON levels are normal, Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, or Delta, the highest state of alert. However, Bravo, which indicates an increased or more predictable threat of terrorism activity, became common and implemented widely as a preventative measure to enhance security and preparedness across all Department of Defense facilities for many years following the September 11, 2001 terrorist attacks. Meanwhile, Charlie sets in motion curtailment plans for non-essential personnel. So we saw the highest level after 9/11, and they're saying we are now at the second highest level. As of today, these warnings have been issued. Although it's unclear what triggered these heightened security levels, so they're not giving us all the details just quite yet. European authorities have warned of a potential terror threat on the continent due to highly public events such as Paris Olympics in July and the current European Football Championships in Germany. According to the U.S. Army, the Charlie level of alert applies when an incident occurs or intelligence is received indicating some form of terrorism actions or targeting against personnel or facilities is likely. Addressing the alert on Sunday, EUCOM said in a statement that it is constantly assessing a variety of factors that play into the safety of the U.S. military community abroad. As a part of the effort, we oftentimes take additional steps to ensure the safety of our service members. Meanwhile, garrison officials in Stuttgart said that a variety of services would be affected because of the increased threat level, adding that until further notice, some of those reduced services include access to some eateries and on-post barbershops.
U.S. military bases in Europe are on high alert tonight. Defense officials are warning of a possible terror attack. We get specifics from Chief National Security Correspondent Jennifer Griffin at the Pentagon.
ISIS, Iranian proxies, or Russian agents. U.S. military officials say there was not a threat from a particular terror group that led to the top American general overseeing U.S. military bases in Europe to raise the force protection condition to Charlie, the highest level in 10 years, fearing a potential terror threat targeting U.S. military bases. The bases, which provide support to NATO, remain on high alert as the alliance prepares next week to celebrate its 75th anniversary.
U.S. European Command is taking steps to increase vigilance for our service members, their families, and our facilities. It was out of an abundance of caution.
As large crowds gather at packed stadiums for the Euro Cup and the Paris Olympics begin on July 26. The U.S. has more than 100,000 service members stationed across Europe. The bases on alert include the U.S. European Command headquarters in Stuttgart, Germany. Service members have been told to remain vigilant and report any suspicious activity. Iran's supreme leader issued an obtuse, veiled threat. The U.S. has bases all over the world. In such a situation, any movement, any action, and any revolution that only pays attention to its own internal environment and neglects foreign developments will certainly suffer a blow. On June 3rd, a 26-year-old Russian-Ukrainian was arrested near Charles de Gaulle Airport outside Paris following an accident involving the manufacture of explosives. French authorities suggested the perpetrator was planning to bomb a hardware store north of Paris, part of a sabotage campaign orchestrated by Moscow.
So we're seeing that, it's constantly, tensions is constantly rising. We're seeing that these threats are imminent. We already knowing that, war is upon our shores, any given day. We constantly warn you about these things, so war is in the air, rumors after rumors. So now, let's start today's lesson. Let's start here in Matthew chapter 24. Start here in Matthew chapter 24 and verse 6. Matthew chapter 24 and verse 6. We'll start here. One moment. Oh, it's Matthew 6. I like it. Matthew 24. Let's go back out. Matthew 24 and verse 6. Salakia. And it reads, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of war. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Verse 7 said, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. Verse 8, all these are the beginning of sorrow. So that's exactly what we're seeing right now. Rumors of wars all over the place. We're seeing, nations are rising against nation. We're seeing famines, pestilence, earthquakes in diverse places. So all these are the beginning of sorrows, or the beginning of the birth pain, that transition of power. So we're seeing all these things are happening, but the Lord said the end is not yet. So these are indicators that we're very close to the great and glorious return of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua. Also, our salvation is at the door. And once again, the devil is getting ready to come down with what? With great wrath. So we're seeing that these things are constantly picking up. War is, we hearing war news pretty much every day. We're seeing that things could go nuclear. We're seeing that tensions rise up against Russia, between NATO and also the U.S. We're seeing that things are picking up. It's Israel, Iran, also all these neighboring countries over here in the Middle East is constantly picking up. We're seeing that, in the Persian Gulf, in the Red Sea area, things are constantly happening left and right. And one thing about it, we're living in the end time, real time. We're seeing rumors of war are all over the place. And one thing about it, we're seeing that war is imminent. They're telling you left and right that, U.S. military bases on high alert in Europe. So we're seeing right now, America is it's constantly getting attacked on all fronts, all across the world. A great multitude is kindled over America. We're seeing right now that, things can just pop off. So now let's go here to Jeremiah. Let's go here to Jeremiah chapter 51. Quick, let's do the spirit of power. Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Jeremiah chapter 51. Let's start up at verse 6. It said, flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. Said, be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of the Lord's vengeance, and he will render unto her a recompense. So the Lord is getting ready to bring forth that judgment. And how do you flee out of Babylon? You know what? Spiritually. And one thing about we hoping and praying when the Lord come with that great fathership that we will get delivered, that we're part of the hopeful elect. So we seeing right now the Lord is getting ready to judge this place. The Lord is against this destroying mountain, which in fact is America, Babylon the Great. So we seeing that all these nations on all front is coming up against the whore. They're getting ready to burn the whore. We're seeing it happening right before our eyes. And one thing about it's time to seek the Lord. Verse 7, it said, Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hands that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. So we already know that America, you know, has been a major influence. All these nations across the world, you know, with their policies, with their democracy, you know what I'm saying, constantly going into other people's countries, you know, robbing them of their resources, and also setting up their puppet government, you know, to constantly push their wickedness and all their agendas upon the earth. And one thing about it, the nations, you know, are mad right now, you know. And one thing about it, we seeing right now, a lot of people are done with America. A lot of people are constantly ditching the dollar. You know what I'm saying? America is losing their grip on the world because what? The Lord's getting ready to bring forth that recompense. Well, the Lord is getting ready to repay. The Lord's getting ready to bring forth what? Massive judgment. So now let's start back up at verse 8. And it says, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her. Take balm for her pain. For if so be, she may be healed, but she will not be healed. You know, America is constantly circling the drain, and they will not ever get back up ever again. And one thing about it, this is it. The end of what? Of Babylon the Great. End of an empire. Esau, Edom kingdom. Verse 9, it said, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go every one unto his own country, for her judgment reaches unto the heavens and is lifted up even to the sky. So one thing about it, you know, hey, you know, this place here is what you call spiritually called Sodom in Egypt, because all the wickedness, you know, and also, you know, Egypt is hand in hand with the house of bondage. So we already know that we're in our last captivity. And one thing about it, the Lord is getting ready to judge this place. What was done to us is getting ready to be done to them. Let's read this in the NLT. Verse 9, it said, we would have helped her if we could. Said, but nothing can save her now. Said, let her go, abandon her. Said, return now to your own land, for her punishment reaches to the heavens. And said, it is so great, it cannot be measured. So one thing about it, that, you know, the Lord is getting ready to judge this place, man. We're here, man. Man, we seeing it happening, man, right before our eyes. The Lord is doing a mighty work. These Bible prophecies are speaking loud and clear. And one thing about it, we knowing that America was that golden cup, you know, the nation police, you know what I'm saying, the hammer of the whole earth. But now this place is constantly crumbling. The nations are seeing that America is weak. And one thing about it, you know, all these nations now are bucking up against America. And we're seeing it happening right before our eyes. So now let's start back up at let's drop down to verse, let's see where I want to start back. Let's start up at verse 12. And it reads, says, set up the standard upon the walls of Babylon. Make the watch strong. Set up the watchmen. Prepare the ambushes. For the Lord has both devised and done that which he spake against the inhabitants of Babylon. So we seeing right now that the Lord is constantly, you know, setting the stage, you know, for the destruction of America. You know what I'm saying? This place will be totally destroyed with those IBCM missiles, the indignation of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. So right now, we already know they have these sleeper cells in places. We already know that America will be attacked on all fronts, right here in our own backyard. Also, these military bases, also over there in the Middle East. You know, so America will be totally destroyed. You know, we seeing it. The Lord already said in Joel chapter 2, I think around verse 20. And it said that, you know, he will remove the northern army far from their borders. So we seeing all these things that happen. And also we seeing about this military draft also. Let's read this in the NLT. It said, raise the banner. Raise the battle flag against Babylon. It said, reinforce the guards. And the station and the watchmen. So prepare an ambush, for the Lord will fulfill all his plans against Babylon. Exactly right. The Lord is going to totally destroy this place in 1 hour. So one thing about it, we know that America will be attacked on major fronts. All these nations get ready to come in collaboration, you know what I'm saying, to burn the whore, you know. So missiles going to be flying from all different directions. And one thing about it, they shall not miss their mark. And also we knowing that we already have sleeper cells here, right here in our backyard. They're just waiting for the word, you know, to be activated. So now let's start back up at verse, one moment. Let's start back up at verse 13, Salakia. Start back up at verse 13. And it reads, O thou that dwellest upon many waters, abundance in treasures, thy end is come, and thy measure of thy covenants. You know, it's talking about America, you know, the whore that sits on many waters. You know, the one, you know, a lot of these nations have lived deliciously off the delicacies of the whore. You know what I'm saying? So one thing about it, all the export and import, a lot of people came here and had become rich, but now they're seeing that this place is constantly crumbling. A lot of people are ditching the dollar. A lot of people are leaving America because they already knowing that this place is getting ready to be totally destroyed. They knowing that, you know what I'm saying, the end is coming. You know, we're seeing it right before our eyes. You know, the end of this place, we cannot wait, man. DTA or Bob Ball. Verse 14 said, the Lord of hosts has sworn by himself, saying, surely I will fill thee with men as with caterpillars, and they shall lift up a shout against thee. So one thing about it, you know, it's talking about this land is already filled with what these illegal migrants coming across the southern borders. You know, we have them in major cities across America: Chicago, New York, California, Florida, Texas, you know, Georgia, you know, Arizona, you know, pretty much also the Northwest, you know, all across America. So one thing about it, you know, they constantly, you know, just flooding in. They said it was over 30 million migrants are here in America. You know, that's just a rough draft. So we knowing that it's more than that. So we already know that all hell would break loose, sedition among men, you know what I'm saying, civil unrest, you know what I'm saying, city against city, Egyptian against Egyptian. You know, so we knowing that this time is upon us. So let's read in the NLT. It says, the Lord of heaven's armies has taken this vow and has sworn to it by his own name. So your cities will be filled with enemies, so like fields swarming with locusts, and they will shout in triumph over you. So he's talking about these sleeper cells, you know what I'm saying, the UN troops in collaboration with Russia and China and NATO. So we already know this place is getting ready to be a third world country. They get ready to tear this places to pieces. And a lot of people sitting up talking about barbecue, family reunion, anniversary, you know, what are they going to eat or what are they going to wear. And one thing about it, all hell is getting ready to break loose while you being happy-go-lucky, you know what I'm saying, constantly, you know, thinking that you're a good case. And one thing about it, that, hey, man, this war is upon our shore, you know what I'm saying? Great death, great mourning, great sorrows. It's right before our eyes. So now, let's go here to 1 Thessalonians. Let's go here to 1 Thessalonians, and we get one more, we close out. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 1. And it reads, said, but of the times and the season, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you, because we know perfectly well what time that we're living in. Verse 2 said, for yourself know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. So one thing about it, the Lord said, you know, that's why you got to be always watching, you know what I'm saying, redeeming the time wisely, because one thing about it, the Lord is going to come on a day when you unawares, you know, when you're not watching, when you are constantly going on with your daily life thinking that everything is good, that everything is normal. And one thing about it, that, hey, that's when the Lord going to show up on you. And we constantly want it. The Lord is very near. We're seeing that things are constantly coming together. We're seeing that time is constantly accelerate. You know what I'm saying? The Lord said, for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. So we're living in the end time, real time, and we constantly want. Also, we knowing that what famine of the word is fast approaching. So you got to get it while it's hot. right today. Seek the Lord, because we are running out of time. So now, let's read this once again. Let's read in the NLT. He said, "For you know quite well that the day of the Lord return will come unexpectedly, said like a thief in the night." So a lot of people gonna be unaware, unexpectedly. You know what I'm saying? Gonna come upon them. Whoa, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people is gonna be bugged out of their mind. You know, it's gonna be a vexation of spirit. You know, it's gonna be a time of trouble once again that you have never seen before. So verse 3 it said, "For when they shall say peace and safety, when then sudden destruction comes upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape." So one thing about it, we're in peace and serenity right now. Everything is good. This is the quiet before the storm. A lot of things right now, people still are going on with their daily life, getting ready for this wicked holiday, 4th of July, constantly, planning, you know what I'm saying, things, constantly, trying to accomplish something in this fallen kingdom, which in fact is America. Everything that you know and see will be totally destroyed by these IBCM missiles, you know what I'm saying, that devouring fire from Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Let's read it in NLT, verse 3. It said, "When people are saying everything is peaceful and secure, then disaster will fall on them as suddenly as a pregnant woman labor pains begin, and there will be no escape." So right there, you see, a lot of people right now, oh, that's not going to happen right now. This is far off. And we constantly telling you about all these threats, all these high alerts. You know what I'm saying? Telling you to watch out. We're telling you to redeem the time. We're telling you to be circumspect. And a lot of people are still a game saying, still are not believing the signs of the time. And they are right before your eyes. It's time for you to wake up. Because one thing about it, when the Lord bring it, there will be no more talking. So now let's go to our last and final script. Let's go here to Revelations chapter 11. Revelation chapter 11 and verse 14. Revelation chapter 11 and verse 14. Revelation chapter 11 and verse 14. And it reads, it says, let me get that off. Revelation chapter 11 and verse 14 said, "The second woe is past, and the third woe come quickly." So we seeing right now the third woe is coming quickly, and that woe goes into destruction. World War III has begun. It's getting ready to escalate. Tensions are rising left and right around the world. In the middle of the Lord, we're constantly sighing and crying left and right, warning you of these impending dangers. They are coming fastly. And one thing about it, in the great day of the Lord, it's upon us. One thing about it, seek the Lord. You know what I'm saying? One thing about putting that off from day to day, because we're seeing that these things are coming upon us. And one thing about it is that, a lot of people are getting ready to be taken in a great number. So let's read this once again. Revelation chapter 11 and verse 14 said, "The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe come quickly." So it is at the door. You know what I'm saying? One thing about it is that the men of the Lord, you know what I'm saying, is out here, you know what I'm saying, standing on their watch and stand on fire for Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. And one thing about it, we're seeing that we're very close. We're very excited. We're almost at the end of this thing. We constantly rejoicing. We knowing that the Lord is getting ready to restore us. The Lord is getting ready to sustain us, and also the Lord is coming to deliver us with great glory and great power. So the title of the day lesson, once again, is U.S. military bases in Europe on high alert. So I'd like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem, Rekak Wadash. I like to say, Shalom, Shalom.